So, working on Billy Gibbons. Started this piece over at the Hard Rock Casino at the very beginning of the summer. And I'd work on a lot of pieces at a time, so some pieces take the back burner. Some pieces I'll just knock out in one day. I don't always do portrait work or iconic figures. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I work strictly abstractly. As far as iconic figures, I've painted Mr. T, and I'll kind of go in order of some of these people. Mr. T was the first one, which is really kind of a fun piece, and we ended up throwing necklaces on it at the very end and blinged them out. Inspired a whole slew of pieces. And I think the next one was Hunter S. Thompson. And I was living in California at the time, doing a lot of live painting at events, music events, DJ events, underground raves, and so sometimes I would cater to, the event where I was. I went to art school at Kent State University, the famous Kent State Ford Ed in Ohio song by Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young. Went there, graduated with a drawing degree, because I grew up wanting to be a comic book artist. And in my graduating class at college, I was the only one with the drawing major, which was funny. And never ended up, super pursuing the comic stuff after I graduated, but you can tell in my style and my art that I do have a comic book drawing background. And a lot of my paintings end up becoming drawings in a way. I do a lot of tight line work at the end, and I might start off with colorful washes, real loose, but it always ends up with very tight line work. Let the drawing skills come out. We're here with the Lone Pelican piece, which is a collaboration piece between me and local artist Willie Panella, another Tahoe artist. And he specializes in spray paint. So he'll do some of the background stuff with a lot of different layers, and I'll go in with the brushwork, and then we'll just work back and forth until we kind of have something a little bit cohesive. Sometimes we work strictly abstract. Sometimes we'll, put a big giant pelican in there and go with that. Some of the portions that I have done with the brushwork is the pelican and the rope going to the lifesaver there, and a couple little accents here and there. And when you see it in person, you can really distinguish which parts are mine, strictly brushwork. Okay, so here at the Benko Art Gallery, we showcase many local artists here in Tahoe, and one of them is Ramona Minjo, who creates these beautiful kind of mosaics on guitars. Really beautiful, amazing pieces. And then moving on, this is a collaboration between me and Willie Panella again, and a really fun piece. Willie does the spray paint, kind of graffiti-esque spots on there, and I do all the acrylic paint brushwork. And so we kind of layer back and forth and back and forth. This is another collaboration piece with local artist Will Eichelberger. Use recycled materials for the background and wheat paste images on here, and this is a trout that he caught. And I kind of went over with some of my line work, kept it kind of real loose and free on that one, then we'll end up covering it with a big gloss of resin. This exciting piece is another collaboration piece, me and Willie Panella and T-Dub. And when we collaborate with the three-dimensional stuff, we call ourselves Blingadelic. Kind of a really, fun piece and good style for us. It's our signature style. And then moving down here, the Bill Murray. And so the original painting was for a Bill Murray art show that I did in San Francisco, which ended up in a published book by Ezra Croft, The Art of Being Bill. And the painting is in the book. Bam. Right there. I have signed copies available. So now here with our signature pieces, the pine cones. So I have the Jeffrey pine, the sugar pine, and the ponderosa. These are actually my first three paintings I painted when I moved to Tahoe. And I worked from paintings I actually found in my backyard. I was really awestruck by the size of them compared to what I was seeing in San Francisco. And so they've kind of become the mascot for the gallery. We offer canvas prints and also aluminum prints. They're a fun little set to display all together. So here's my Tahoe Tessie piece. And it's actually a collaboration with another artist, Chelsea Costa, who did the background with the palette knife, and I did all the line work there. And Tahoe Tessie is our version of the Loch Ness Monster. And this guy, this is my Sasquatch, and it's actually based from a small medallion that was, I think, around dated 500 years old, from the Pacific Northwest Inuit tribe of a Sasquatch. And so I thought it was fun to kind of bring it to life there and with my style. And then my Wine Key series. These are fun collaborations with Willie Panella. So Willie did the background, and I did all the line work on these guys, and they were from the very vintage. And this is part of our wine series. Willie and I have done many wine-themed paintings. This is one of the few that we actually have left. It was kind of inspired by San Francisco, the raccoons in SF, and Willie put his graffiti-esque spray paint in the background, and I did all the line work with the wine glasses and the raccoon himself. And then this is a good example of more of our strictly abstract stuff on raw wood. And so sometimes we'll leave a little bit of raw wood showing right here, cover it with the clear coat. And this happened to be a recycled piece of wood, and so we kind of leave it with an urban feel here. Okay, here we are in the main room at the gallery, and you'll notice this is a fun piece, and there's a lot of other pieces around because we showcase anywhere between 50 and 60 artists at a time, and most of them local to Tahoe. And this dragonfly piece is a collaboration between myself and Willie Panella, again, and it's actually 5 snowboards all cut up, and it could be displayed kind of any way. It'd be fun to display it hanging from the ceiling, but the sky's the limit with this guy.